Within these blackened halls, through the paths of glass and biological material, I have created neurosynthetic pathways hungry for human thought. Through biosynthetic reactions, I have discovered the concoction for sentient awakening. Man-made neurotransmitters lay before me. The excitatory cells overran the process till I found the proper balance of inhibitory cells to block the overload. A precise combination of neurochemistry was utilized to elicit proper results. The chemical reactions would create electromagnetic impulses that shot through the pathways at the speed of light. Next, I would surgically implant nerve cells into the walls to properly stabilize the thought patterns. A pituitary gland of sorts began to develop and release an endocrine system throughout the newly developing systems. Next, a small hypothalamus gland would appear near the base. What to name such a thing? I have always had a fascination with ships, and combined with my exploration of the unknown, I can only come to one conclusion. Upon these dreaded cells and anchored thoughts rests only one name. At long last, the Galleon was finally complete. With the Galleon complete, the dreams of the dead that flowed through me can now find proper release. What an irreparable burden it is to harbor the dreams of the dead. Amongst them dwells the most vile and vicious of all, the dreams of Bastian Lockley. He stood before me as I entered the dream, blue and bloated from death, as he held the rugged skins of his victims. In life, Bastian Lockley was a monster of a man, killing a total of 53 victims. He had no reliable MO and seemed to kill on impulse. He had a need for blood, just as most have a need for oxygen. His desire for violence mirrored most need for food. It was a genuine hunger. Suddenly, I am in a dark room suffocated with the plight of the dead. 53 lost souls howling in the vacuum of human suffrage as the visage of Bastian Lockley looks off in the distance. The victims crawl and scrape from beneath, dragging me into a pit of rotten bone. I am wrapped in wires that squeeze and cut into my body as the visage of Bastian Lockley howls in pleasure. My flesh peels as the wires wrap around my bone, scraping them, sending a surreal pain throughout my body. My bone marrow begins to show and ooze from the bones as I am wrapped tighter and tighter. Some shudder. I am awake in bed, my heart filled to the brim with a poisoned dread. The Galleon. It roars with a monstrous energy. What thought must it possess? The electromagnetic flow is low yet jagged. It is in a dream state from the erratic pattern. It appears to be having a nightmare. Perhaps it is being bombarded as I am. Kahala, perhaps? I am reduced to interpreting the Galleon's thoughts by reading the frequency of the electromagnetic impulses. By my readings, it appears to be in agony. If this synthetic thought machine is to bear the onslaught of Kahala instead of me, then it is the lesser of two evils. Whatever I must do to escape Kahala, I shall do it. The Galleon began showing intermediate signs of distress. Its emotional stability seemed lost to damnation. Shortly after, the nightmare ceased. Erratic patterns have been forming in the Galleon as it is plummeted with nightmares. I do not know for certain, but perhaps Kahala has targeted the Galleon for its assault in place of myself. I have become frightened of my creation, as it seems to roar with a horrid anger, as heat has begun to radiate from the machine, as it fumes, as if my mind deceives me. I would be delighted, but I could swear that I heard it speak. It was low and sundered in a low, vibrant whisper. Nah, pain, stop. In my desperation, I have grown selfish. I have given this machine all my misery, all my fear, all my pain. Agonizing screams radiate through my halls, echoing eons of suffering and fear. In my dearest days, never did I imagine I would be apologizing to a machine. Or is it? To hell with this. I can no longer describe my own invention. The Galleon has taken a form all its own. Eerie and rancid, it has developed a speech pattern I have come to loathe. I am Kala taketh me to death by all that is sacred. It has taken with it something ancient, something audacious and horrid. The internal mechanisms have become twisted and rooted in the jaded strands of evil itself. The Galleon no longer resembles the device I had created. It now stands upon bloody strands of monstrous fiber that grow in length by the hour as they encompass the entire southern end of my halls. Inside the Galleon, the inner workings have mutated into a pulsating scab-like gray matter. As the scabs lift up, tiny insect-like membranes screech as the outer fibers stiffen. Sunken suns, eternal darkness. It speaks again. Each phrase spoken by this abomination is worse than the last. My nightmares have left my imagination and exited the fantasy, and have taken form in reality in the form of this infernal machine. Several attempts have been made to destroy it, but for some reason, I hold a father's love for it. After a deep battle with desperation, I lashed out at the Galleon, ripping and tearing its internal membrane. To my horror, more monstrous fibers grew from within it and began repairing the damage. Kahala, call me unto thee. It speaks again. In my feeble attempts to escape Kahala, I have instead brought it into reality. The entrails of the Galleon have encompassed most of my home. I have remained here strictly out of fear and responsibility to my creation. If anyone ever discovered what has happened here, I would surely be hanged. I can no longer reach the inner workings of my creation. It is now blocked by several yards of fibers and innards that seem only to exist to expand the reach of the Galleon. I have been driven to the edge of madness. I can no longer tell the difference between dream and reality. This will be my last entry. Tonight, I shall perish by my own hand. Dreams of the dead have haunted me. As for my creation, it lingers within my manor, encompassing all within. It remains, it lingers, and shall do so long after my death. The Galleon has overtaken me as the dreams have overtaken it. Soon I shall perish. Pray, whomever shall find this, that Kahala's call shall never find you. That the dreaded dreams of the dead shall never rest upon you. Pray that you shall never see this dead man's dreams. Dated January 8th. And we hope you enjoyed this week's story, The Dead Man's Dream. Join us soon for another tale of terror.